Today, let's talk about the ideas of time, free will, predestination, and desire. And at the end, I'll actually throw in one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, not the movie, but I'll tell you what it is. So there's an idea about the block universe, where no time exists, everything just is. So everything that has happened, will happen, all of it just sort of exists at once. It's sort of the idea of God as an eternal being, or God as an eternal entity, whatever you'd like to say. God does not exist in linear time like we think of. God just is there for all of the time, and all of the time just exists. And I started thinking about this video as I was walking, or I should say as I walk to and from the gym each day. And so these words came to me, and I thought they were a good way to describe this block universe and to put a question in your mind about your free will, about your predestination. So I was thinking the path that I'm on, not necessarily the path that I walk to the gym, but the path that I am on in life. I can travel my path because it is well worn. My path is well worn because I have traveled it. So you see where this is going, and I'll say that another way. I create the path that I'm on by walking it or by living it. I walk that path, or I live that path because it exists. So think of a path through a field or in the woods. You can't walk a path that doesn't exist. So the path already has to be there in order for you to walk a path. Other than that, you're doing something else entirely, which is usually called trailblazing or something like that. But if you are on a path, you are on the path because you have walked that path before. You're on the path because it exists. At the same time, you are creating that path. So in a block universe, I have the free will to make the decisions I have already made in the future because I have already made them, and I will make them. I know, that's kind of strange. So I have the free will to make the decisions that I have already made. So the decisions that future me would look back on and say that I've already made. I, as me now, have the free will to make those decisions. And I have the free will to do that, but I will always choose the same thing that I've chosen before, the same thing that keeps me on that path, the same thing that creates that path. Since I will make the decision, I already made the decision. So because I will make a certain decision, it means that I have already made that decision. According to future me, I have already made that decision. So it is free will to an extent. It is my desires to an extent. It is my predestination to an extent. It is all of these things. All of these things are part of the same thing. We're getting to that. My free will always lead me to do what I have already done. So that's kind of a restatement of that, but my free will to make a decision now, my free will to make this video, means that I have already made this video. According to future me, this video has already been made. So I decided to make this video, but the question then becomes, did I have a choice in deciding that? Well, I think I did. I put this video together. I could have crumbled up the piece of paper and said, nope, don't want to do it. But because I have made this video, because to future me, this video already exists, I don't really have any option but to go with the predestined choice of making this video. And so Robert Heinlein has a quote, and we'll get to more about Heinlein in a second. He says, the snake that eats its own tail forever and ever. Think of it like that. The Ouroboros, however you pronounce it. That is, I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments. You know who you are. So the snake that's eating its own tail forever and ever, it's just this repeating process. It just goes over and over and over again. But does it? It just sort of exists as a snake eating itself. And that quote from Heinlein, it's from a short story that he did called All You Zombies. And that was later turned into, and here's the good part, one of my personal favorite movies, Predestination. This movie is a freaking work of art. They did such a good job with the lines that they use, the way things are delivered, the placement of things is absolutely beyond brilliant. They did such a wonderful job. But you don't know that until you watch the movie at least twice. You watch the movie through the first time, great story, wonderful, fantastic. You watch this movie the second time, and you will just say, holy shit, I can't believe they did that. That was so smart. So watch it at least twice. Watch it 3 times, trust me. But the movie Predestination is absolutely fantastic. And it describes all of this. It describes the idea of things happening because they happened. Things happening because they will happen. Things that did happen happened because of stuff that will happen in the future. Things that I'm doing right now, I'm doing because they need to happen in order for things that happen in the future to happen, or they are the continuation of things that happened in the past, and so this is the outcome of those. So when you think of it all as one eternal piece, as opposed to thinking of it as linear time, it gets a little confusing, but at the same time, when you understand what your path is, when you understand where you're going, what your destination is, what your love is, your passion, where you are supposed to be, you can say that you're already on that path. You are already on the path, that well-worn path, the path you have walked before. You are already on your way to what that destination is because you are already at that destination. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and be sure to hit the like button and share it if you really liked it.